GenAI application, and I also worked with the other GenAI applications which is already in existing, like for the deployments and all the.
So you did this as part of your Wells Fargo assignments?
Yeah, I did. I did in Wells Fargo, and as well as before that, I worked with one of the project before. Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Very good.
So yeah, like my job, coming to the POC, I'll talk about that first. So I did build it start end to end point, like let's say there is a POC for a kind of a chatbot where we need to build a chatbot for our company. So it's gonna it's more like a text to if you ask about something for anything related to the internal organization, like it's going to respond with the answer. So that's chatbot way. Yeah.
Sham, take a deep breath. That's fine. Just talk casually. No problem. Okay. Take it easy. That's fine.
Okay.
Just recollect it. Take your time. Talk slowly. That's fine.
Yeah. Sure. So I built in end to end, like
use case first, right? So what
use case is like
what is this for?
Use case is let's say we have a number of articles, and we from the articles we need to get the data. That's a data set. Let's say that's a text loaded data. We get it from the articles, and when you ask something to the chatbot, that's response you're going to get from the data received from the articles. Yeah.
That's okay, so you're querying on top of the articles, is it?
Right. Yeah.
What articles are they? Are they part of banking?
Yeah, right. That's the internal articles. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, can you tell me the tech stack and the architecture that you had built it for this chatbot development?
So, for I'll come from the beginning. So for loading, we let's say for the POC app did like a simple one. For that we can say first part is like more like a document, using a text loader. Like I use a LangChain framework to build this POC. So
what is the UI built of?
UI built of I built in Streamlight. So this is a POC. So I just for that because Streamlight I built on the UI you asked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the after that was done, so they're gonna have a different UI. But for the POC I did on Streamlight just to show how it looks. So usually from the articles, using as I said, like I use a long chain. We load the we load it that using a text loader, like or CSV loader, depends on the what type of article, and we load that. We can if it is say like unstructured data, like we have a class for that unstructured text loader. So after after getting the data, we usually that the next step going to be more like a splitting that, like into multiple chunks. Let's say these articles are even articles as a bigger articles, like with huge data. So that's going to be split into the chunks, like depending on how much we provide, like how much paragraph, how much split we want to split it. So let's say for ChatGPT, usually they do it for I think 3,000, I think. Yeah. But yeah. So from these chunks, usually we use we GPT more like for embedding. I used GPT for using I have a OpenAI I used for free thing. So I use GPT for embedding purpose. And so then sorry, I was stuck in somewhere. Yeah. So I use a GPT for this get embedded, and then I use for I don't I mean for this POC I don't use a vector database. I'm usually in company we are using a Chrome database. So for vector database, so I use just I use a file as an I use a pickle file as a vector database as for this POC. Then uh, I use a FIAS like a Facebook AI similar to search, right? So I use for that. I mean, we use the I use it for that to uh, like more like a memory. When you have a chance, we can just or you can do like uh, Fierce is like more like it will get similar kind of chunks into one place. I can say in simple way. Yeah. Then yeah. So yeah. After that, using a retrieval class, so we can retrieve these chunks which is related to the query what we provide in the chatbot. So uh, those queries and this query and this chunks and combine using LLM, we use display the answer depending on what query we provide. That's more like a step by step, like I try to explain, but yeah, I might miss something.
Okay, so what is the actual embedding model that you used? Model name.
I For this chatbot, I use more like for the one I use is Vertex AI. For this one, for I use GPT only for this.
Yeah, so what is that model version? What is the actual model name that you used?
3.5. I mean, you mean version is that or
Yep.
yeah, 3.5.
Okay, so why do you need embeddings? Why can't
So
you use directly the document and ask for questions?
usually, what embedding does is it turns the text data into binary, let's say numbers. Uh, let's say if there is a word or call it token or whatever, we can change that to like certain what do you call trying to find the word uh, a text into more like a number, and that saves in a it convert the text into binary. I can say yeah.
Okay, so you used GPT text embeddings, is it?
Yeah, text statement. That's for this one. Yeah,
What is the version that you used?
3.5. I just remember. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you complete the architecture, right? So now user types in a query. What happens next?
So from user side, let's say I when a user gives a query to the chatbot, uh, like we'll give in a natural language, like I need a name of this company or whatever. So that turns the text turns into like uh, for embedding, and that embedding. Uh,
How do you do that?
how do you do?
Okay, so programmatically, you're taking in the user query, and what do you do after taking the user query?
So after we get the user query, we use a tokenization to the input text is broken down into similar units like call tokens. So the once that is done, we can do the intent recognition. We can use the machine learning models like classification algorithms, like data sets queries. I mean, is that answers you or
So you explained me about the RAG architecture. You stored. the data in the embeddings and vector embeddings in the vector DB. Somewhere related. I don't know what you exactly mentioned, but in terms of querying the response, you said you take the query and you tokenize it. After tokenization, you said some ML something, right? Can you elaborate it? How do you get the response?
I mean, once we've done it, what we do is we I mean, all the next step is going to be actually like do the tokenization to the application that data, and so after we embedded the crucial tokenization models like representing symmetric like query size and numerical vectors words or similar meanings. Like, I mean, what we do is we are. I mean, here we can use sentence transformers. Like we can also design creating embedded with entire sentence, or we can open a models which are like user.
So you take relevant data from knowledge base.
Right.
After
That's right.
that,
After once we done with that that data from the knowledge base, we start doing the comparison with the what like vectorization inside the contextualization that retrieve the data access and context and for that language model. Data is also included like prompt that sent to the LLM. That means that LLM does not lie in the pretend like knowledge. Like it's also like specific information retrieved from the knowledge base. So then that after we retrieve that information, which is carefully formatted and intruded with the prompts, send it to the LLM. That we have effective engineering and we have ensured that elements how to retrieve the information there, so that after that we have a responsive generation like LLM response
what
generation
is the LLM that you have used to generate the response?
for for the POC. I mean, for the generation of response, I use like various embedding, like in the case, like use customized
No, no,
construction.
I'm not talking about embedding model. I'm talking about the large language model to generate the response.
For that, I mean, for the logic, I mean, logic model generating is input encoding, like is
Okay, that's
like
fine.
code transformers
So,
you're saying about. Is that you ask?
sorry,
I mean,
sorry.
like the code transformers that attention mechanism. Is that you're asking, or particularly?
No, the large language model, what model you used to generate the final response?
Uh,
See, you have a user query, you
right.
have a data fetched from knowledge base.
Okay.
Both you said you're going to put it in the prompt, right? Prompt as
Right.
a
Right.
context. And to which model you fed this prompt and generated
Okay, that one is
the
as I said, like that's I use OpenAI ChatGPT models. Okay.
okay version?
I think 3.5 only. Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Okay, good. So,
Or
okay. How much would you rate yourself in Python shop
uh, I
out of 10?
I would say somewhere in 78. Yeah.
Okay. Have you created any APIs using Python? Maybe, like Fast API or AWS Gate API Gateway using or any Flask API?
Yeah, I did Fast API. Also responsible for
Fast
using
API.
application. Yeah.
Okay, you have experience in creating that. Okay. And what are cloud platforms you have experience with?
I have a good experience with AWS and Azure at GCP too. I worked with the GCP even with Wells Fargo recently. They use GCP.
Okay. Okay. And you have experience in creating Lambda functions.
Yeah, I do. When I worked with AWS, yeah.
And you also mentioned that you were a DevOps engineer, right? So you have experience in the CI/CD pipeline creations, is it?
Right.
End-to-end pipeline creation.
Yeah, I work
So
with.
what all platforms you have, what all kind of deployments you have done, like ECS, ECS deployment, or EKS, container restriction
Yeah,
control?
I did ECS deployment. We changed one of the architecture from Lambda, and also there's a multiple ECs. I mean EC to serve like for a particular application. So we did change that to ECS, and I use Jenkins for doing CI/CD more. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, can you explain me the end-to-end architecture of DevOps? What you have answered on, like, right from beginning,
sure,
from
sure.
start.
For DevOps, yeah, definitely. So from Git, let's say Git is source control. When you commit the code to the, so once you have the done the committing, so we go ahead and look for the automatic triggers for the pipelines inside that for when you generate a PR. So usually the triggers which commits the trigger to CI/CD pipeline when that triggers the Jenkins job. Uh, the pipeline automatically posts the latest code into the repository. So that the code, then the pipelines runs automatically test, including the integrated test cases as well as the static code analysis, and the step ensures that code changes isn't aggressive. And if the build and test is successful, we deploy the architecture stored on the artifact repository. Like for the, I mean, we have that depends on the environments. So we use the dev. Staging and as well as master branches. So depending on where you are trying to deploy, so there is certain kinds of approval for prod. So there is certain like like more like depends on the branch. We have comprehensive testing cases also. Yeah. I mean, is that your answers to your question, or you want me to
Yeah,
go
do
deep
you
part to part?
do code coverage, code quality check,
Yeah,
and
we
all
do.
that? Which
We
one?
do that.
What is it? How do you do that?
We do for one of the project we use a SonarCube, and I mean there's multiple code coverage tools outside. Yeah.
Okay, and you complete the pipeline, right? So, and after that, you create a build package. Then,
Sorry, can you repeat that?
after creating the build package, what do you do? Complete the rest of the flow.
So we store it in artifact.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What
uh,
is that artifact?
we have we can say artifactory center, or we can say
Repository. What is the repository used?
Nexus. What is the
Okay.
repository? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, there is a Artifactory as well as Nexus, and there's
okay,
multiple.
got it, got it. Go ahead. Next.
So we have, I mean, if that in success from, I mean, we use that artifact to deploy the code using, I mean, they depends on project. We do it in like using like from Artifactory, we validate that and we can go to the, so actually we can deploy to the, if it is a Docker image or depends on what deployments you're doing. Yeah.
Okay, okay, fine. So, uh, let me give you a scenario, right? So, I'm giving you huge data volume, a huge volume of data, which are all kind of structured data set. Okay, it could be CSV files, Excel files, which
Yeah.
has data and records and all that. Huge in volume, thousands and thousands of files. Okay, so I want you to create a RAG architecture enabled chatbot for this. Can you explain me into end how do you do that?
Okay. So first of all, what we have to have the data in hand. So first of all, we have the data injection entry process given to the huge volume of data. We'll need a scalable data processing framework like such as Spark. These frameworks can distribute the workload across the multiple machines. Then, and you can enable processing. We can read the CSV files into data frames, and which provides like efficient data manipulation capabilities like new. like cleaning operations, like handling missing values, and we we transform the structured data into a format for the suitable for the embedding for the generation. We can also create the boolean volume into text strings. I mean, and then we can convert the data into question and answer format. Uh, if appropriate, after that we can divide the data into manageable chunks. If the crucial, like more like efficient generation, like uh, if you have a row-based chunking, like within the group, like related rows, we can become the chunk, like we can have the group-based rows or related content. Um, I mean, important to ensure that more like context is not lost during embedded process. Like uh, then we extract the data from the data sets, such as like uh, columns or data nodes or types, whatever you call it, as a file names. So that can be used to improve retrieval and accuracy, and that provide a context to the chat. Uh, I mean, with both response.
Explain me again that part. How do you extract data from the structured data source from the knowledge base?
I mean, from the knowledge base. So from structured data source, which we can actually determine where the SVC file is stored, like local file system. We use the appropriate libraries to use those files from the cloud-based files. Like we can, if the structured data is in the database, I mean, we can establish a connection with the database connectors, and we can construct a SQL file for the SQL side. We can construct the like.
The files are in S3 folder. Let's say files are in S3 folder. You're syncing that to the knowledge base.
So the files are in S3 folder. We are syncing that for the. If the files are in that folder, we can sync them to the knowledge base, like using a Python libraries like Python.
Yes, now how are you going to switch it?
Using Python B3 library to interact with the Amazon services, we can iterate that.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yep. That's fine. So, okay, that's fine. So you explained, you told that you worked on Fast API, right? So can you tell me the scenario where when you used it and how did you use it?
Yeah. So, I mean, the previous project we used in the first API for like a couple of scenarios in this, like, let's say, we're using for application side, we have a couple of works which have actually done inside the application. So we're using it for like e-commerce analytic APIs, which is actually added. We are actually working on the data points. They're like generating a Python code for that. So we have a large amount of data for the third-party endpoint. So for that, first we use it for the pipeline. So we actually having a airflow, and we are also able to expose the pipelines for triggering and monitoring. Like instead of building the chunky projects, so we actually validate that. So we're using that addition and real-time monitoring.
Okay, so that's fine. So have you created any Lambda functions that get triggered based on an event or kind of any trigger?
Yeah. So in the one of the project I have done, actually we are responsible for the creating Lambda functions. So basically, we are actually using the web application where users are uploading the images to the bucket. So we want to automatically generate thumbnail versions of those matches to improve the page. So the Lambda function is to trigger that by the object creation. So like event, the Lambda function is like downloads uploaded images from the like uh, remains like a separate S3 folders after that is done. So we were like able to upload this Python code files after like the Sibylla layer and configuration S3 triggers inside the from the specification, like the source bucket and the object creation inside that, and then we will having a Lambda function handler inside the application. Is 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 that got your answer? I mean,
Yeah. Right. Do you have experience in doing model evaluation?
So coming to that, I did have a little experience. I can try. I mean, we're actually defining in like an application to application. Yeah, we are doing a LLM model evaluation for one of the. Uh, when we started like initial project, we defined that evaluation dimensions like accuracy and also coherence. So we
This one
initially
you
started.
did it for your chatbot, is it? Chatbot application?
Yes, yeah, that's the one.
So as part of POC, you did the model evaluation as well, is it?
Right, as part of people. Yeah, we did.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
Go ahead, Shyam. Explain.
Okay, so as a part of a model evaluation, we actually initially did the conceptual understanding like enhancement. We use the advanced taking 8-second recognition and sentinel analysis. Sorry, sentiment analysis that the chatbot could understand we users context and emotional state. That we develop a resistance that we use for the analysis like uh, usage
Shyam,
patterns.
Shyam,
Yeah.
just explain me the metrics that you created and why you calculated those metrics.
Okay. So we created that matrix like for the LLM violations. So we proactively issue the detection rate for their, which is defined as a percentage of users issues, and proactive detection for more like initiated contacts for the matrix directly. Like ability to anticipate problems at a higher indicates that we
Okay,
have.
Sham, have you really worked on that? If not, that's fine. Absolutely fine. You
I
can
mean,
say
I have a good idea, but I was trying
you
to
have
put
a
that.
theoretical knowledge, right? You have a theoretical knowledge, and you
Uh,
haven't got a chance to work on it. You don't have a hands-on, right?
I
Right?
would say not totally, but yeah, it's not fully. I worked on that. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, you can be frank. That's
I was
fine.
trying to
That's fine.
recollect the
That is fine.
stuff, but it's always like.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to
Yeah, no, it's, yeah, thank you.
take pressure on answering the question. If you really worked on, if you have hands-on, just tell. If you don't have hands-on, that's fine. You didn't get an opportunity. I totally understand. Right?
Right.
That's fine. Not everybody would get opportunity to work on all this, right? Whatever I'm asking. Just
I mean,
be candid.
the
That's fine.
reason, that's okay. Yeah, that's
That's
fine.
fine, right? So, okay. So do you have experience in kind of agentic workflow?
You said agentic,
AI agents. Yeah, AI agents.
agentic workflow. Yeah, agent. Yeah,
Do you have hands-on in that?
yeah. I have
Have you done any
examples.
POC?
Yeah, yeah. I've actually created the content creation workflow, so which is
So you
like
created a AI agent in your POC, is it?
yeah, we created a retrieval agent and drafting agents. Those we used for that.
Okay, can you tell me what exactly you did?
So actually, we are creating the agents like agents are created. So we are no, we have a data quality assurance region which automated detection for data. Like normally in an inconsistencies, like we validated against predefined business rules. The schemas of these generation of data, like quality reports, are created. Like we are doing data profiling and profiling, like and detentions. The agent uses statically analysis and machine learning algorithms to provide this incoming data into the machine missing values like incoming data streams like which detected anomalies which is like missing values or like the data distributed, like we have also able to leverage the only detection algorithms like isolations, forest and autocoders to identify like unusual patterns. Like the agents are configured with a set of predefined business and like data schemes. So it's validated like data into like natural compiling with the data quality. Uh, I mean, check for the standards and check for the data and type consistency and reach something like that. Like like you are responsible at looking at the specific changes like data for the predefined transformers for the pipelines, and also like automatically use that input data for instance, like which is also like some of the designs values like historical data and feedback are using a libraries more like pandas are also data quality evaluating the frameworks.
Okay,
uh,
that's good.
is that answers? I mean, I can.
Yeah, that answers. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm done with the questions. Any questions you have? Okay, sorry, Shyam?
So is this role is more uh, like uh, team working on what is the size of team actually is?
I cannot tell what the time size of the team, but we are kind of creating patterns for the other teams to adapt and work on it, right? So it's purely Python coding with AWS GenAI services have to be leveraged. Hardcore developers, we're looking for
Hardcore developers, you said.
GenAI developers, the GenAI engineers,
Okay, gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
Correct. Anything else?